A brand new poll shows Donald Trump tied with Joe Biden in the Commonwealth of Virginia. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back again with a new video, and today it is time to talk about the 2024 presidential election because everyone, the Commonwealth of Virginia has become a more Democrat state in the past 20 years. Obviously, this isn't a surprise to anyone. I mean, the last time a Republican even won it at the presidential level was 2004, and most people thought that the Commonwealth of Virginia was just gone for Republicans. Everyone thought, it's over, there is no way in hell any Republican, especially Trump, will win Virginia. Well, a brand new poll was just released out of Virginia, and not only is Trump doing better compared to 2020 in Virginia, he is tied with Biden. That's not a misquote. According to this poll, Donald Trump, as of now, is tied with Biden in Virginia. Now, before we continue with today's video, I hope you enjoy these type of videos. If you do, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Again, folks, all support is greatly appreciated, and yeah. Now, I do want to be clear that I am not saying for 100% certainty that Trump is going to win Virginia. Hell, I still think Biden, as of now, is the favorite in the Commonwealth. But that doesn't mean that this poll is worthless. I mean, this is one of the most accurate pollsters out of Virginia, and they have the race tied. As of now, it's May 29th, 2024. Things could theoretically change. But this pollster back in 2020 was spot on. They had Trump losing Virginia by about 11 points. He lost it by about 9.5. 2016, they had Trump losing by about 7. He lost by 5.5 points. So this isn't just some random pollster. This isn't the Trump pollster that had the same margin, by the way. This is a completely independent pollster that has a record of being accurate. And as of now, they have Trump and Biden tied in Virginia. So let's get into it. President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump are tied 42% in a head-to-head matchup in Virginia, while Biden holds a 2-point lead when other candidates are included, according to the Roanoke College poll. Yeah. So if you just have Trump and Biden on the ticket, no one else, it's a tied race. Oddly enough, RFK and others, it appears they're hurting Trump more than Biden in Virginia. Which, I don't know how to feel about that, because you would think with RFK, Cornel West, Jill Stein, whoever, you would think, especially in Virginia, these voters would be more Democrat-leaning. I mean, this is a state that Trump lost by 10 points. This is not a Republican stronghold. In recent years, it has become a more Democrat state. But oddly enough, Biden does better with RFK off the ballot. Although only 2% of likely voters say they are undecided at this early point in the campaign, another 14% to 20% say they will vote for a candidate other than Biden or Trump. Yeah. So as of now, there is a large third-party vote in Virginia. But when you include Kennedy, Stein, and whoever else, it hurts Trump more than Biden. My only guess for why this is occurring is Biden is doing so bad in Virginia. I mean, he's getting 42% of the vote. For crying out loud, he got like 55% back in 2020. That's a 13-point drop-off from 2020. That is pathetic. He must be doing so badly at this point in time. He physically cannot lose any more voters. That's entirely possible. I could see that occurring where it's just such a bad number for Biden that he can't go any lower. This is the first time the Roanoke College poll has shown the candidates tied, although the polls in February 2024 and November 2023 show them within the margin of error. Yeah, they've been polling this race since early last year. And notice something odd? This is the first time they have Trump tied with Biden this entire cycle. Granted, some of these polls, they were closer. Like February of last year, they had the race within a point. You could say that's a tied race. But this is the first time they are actually tied. No margin of error. No. They are flat out at the same exact vote share. Trump at 42%, Biden at 42%. which, funny enough, vindicates the poll we saw from Trump's campaign just a couple weeks ago. Remember when everyone said that's bullshit, that there's no way that's true? Well, now we have an independent pollster, which has a good record in Virginia. This isn't just some random pollster that we've never heard of. This is one of the most accurate pollsters out of Virginia. And they show, for the first time this cycle, Trump is tied in Virginia with Biden. Could it be a fluke? Maybe. But when you read the rest of this poll, it becomes very apparent why this is happening. Why Trump is doing so good in Virginia. 2/3 of likely voters are very certain of their vote choice, and another 28% are somewhat certain. Just over half are very enthusiastic about voting, and another 27% are somewhat enthusiastic. Still, 1 in 5 are either not too or not at all enthusiastic. And that could explain why Trump is tied with Biden. There's a bunch of Democrats that are pissed off with Biden. As of now, they're saying, we're not voting for the guy. But come November, a good chunk of them might actually vote for Joe. I can see that. That's a legitimate theory, and I believe that's mostly the reason for this margin being close. But it doesn't explain why Trump is tied in Virginia with Biden. That might explain a 2-point shift. Maybe a 3-point shift. That, bunch of Democrats, they're not enthusiastic about Biden, but at the end of the day, they're going to vote for him. Well, even then, that's a 2 to 3 point victory in a state that Biden won by 10 points in 2020. The economy dominates among the most important issues, being cited by 44% of respondents. Yeah. 44% of respondents are saying the economy is the number one issue. Immigration second, with 14%. And then abortion at 13%. That means 58% of voters in Virginia said either the economy or immigration are their number one issues. The two issues that Republicans are going to beat Democrats by like 60 points with, yeah, they are 58% of the vote in Virginia. While abortion, which is obviously an issue Democrats are going to win in 2024 with, it's only 13% of the vote. That's it. This right here is why Trump is doing so good in this Commonwealth. Because a bunch of voters, their number one concerns isn't abortion. It's the economy and what's happening at the southern border. That's why Biden is only at, as of now, 42%. Respondents are more likely to view the Trump years as mostly good for the country, 44% mostly good, 33% mostly bad, and they see the Biden years more negatively, 25% mostly good, 47% mostly bad. Yeah, you heard that right. 44% of people in Virginia, which, by the way, voted for Biden by 10 points in 2020, believe Trump did good for the country, while Biden's only 25%. On this issue alone, Trump is beating Biden by 19 points. And look at mostly bad. 33% said the Trump years were mostly bad, while 47% said the Biden years were more bad. That is awful. That alone should tell you why Trump is doing so good here. A lot of people have regret with their vote in 2020. They're finally realizing, who cares what the orange man said 30 years ago? It doesn't matter. Policy-wise, he was a good president. And what Biden is doing right now is not good for the country. I mean, this is Virginia. This isn't, a Republican state. You would expect this type of answer being this lopsided in, Alabama. Evaluations of the direction of the country and the Commonwealth are mostly unchanged since February and are similar over several years. A small majority, 53%, thinks that Virginia is heading in the right direction, while 70% think the country is on the wrong track. Job approval for Biden is 35%. For Glenn Youngkin, it's 52%. Yeah. People think Youngkin's doing a good job. A Republican governor. And I know, when you have gubernatorial approval ratings, you got to look at them, with some hesitancy. Because for whatever reason, no matter what state it is, it doesn't matter if you're a Republican in Virginia, hell, a Republican in Vermont. People like their governors, usually, unless they're so corrupt that no one likes the guy. But Youngkin's has a decent approval, while Biden is only at 35%. Biden's 61% disapproval rating ties his old-time Roanoke College poll disapproval high from February. Yeah, 61% disapproval in Virginia. These are not numbers you see in a state that you won by 10 points in. You see these numbers in a Republican state. You see these numbers even in a swing state. Not in a state that you won by a lot. Well, that's what's happening according to this pollster. It might be one pollster, it could be off. But they've been pulling this for a year now. And as of now, there is no signs that this is just a fluke. It's going to reverse by the time November comes around. It looks like this is permanent. There's nothing Biden can do, even in Virginia, to solve these numbers. Favorability ratings for federal officials and institutions generally continue in negative numbers, with Donald Trump at 36% favorable and Joe Biden at 36% favorable. Yeah. Trump and Biden have the exact same favorability ratings. Hell, Biden actually has a worse unfavorability number than Trump. By a point, you could say that's margin of error, fine. But even with that in mind, this is Virginia. He should have a much higher favorability rating than Trump. I mean, for crying out loud, the same issue at the national level in 2020, Biden won the question by like 15 points. You would expect in Virginia, he would win this question by like 20 to 30. He's tied at best. You could say he's actually losing by a point. But you could say margin of error. That might be statistical noise, whatever. The fact is, these numbers are not getting better for Biden. In fact, the more you read into this poll, the more you realize this is just worse than everyone could have imagined. Because it's not just, undecided voters. That's part of it. It's the fact that Biden's numbers are just as bad, or if not worse than Trump's. That is not good for a Democrat running in Virginia. You should not be having these pathetic of numbers across the board. And it's not going to get much better. Especially with the number one and number two issues being the economy and immigration. With abortion being in third. There's no positives for Biden here. The only thing you could say is, well, a bunch of undecideds exist. Some of these people say they're going to not vote for Biden, but they might at the end of the day. Fine. But if we assume RFK, Jill Stein, Cornel West actually make the ballot, which it might not happen, but let's say they do. That theory's out the window. Because a good chunk of those voters are going to vote for one of those three candidates. More than likely. Or they just stay home. There's nothing positive for Biden here. And I'm starting to really wonder, is there something happening in Virginia? Because at some point, you cannot just ignore every single data point that we're seeing out of Virginia. And I'm not even talking about polling. Look at 2021, 2022, 2023. Virginia Republicans had a resurgence. They did damn well. And people might say, well, 2023, they lost the assembly again. Fine. But look at context of that election. The tipping point district was like Biden plus 15. It was a super Biden-friendly district. That's the only reason Democrats won the legislature. The only reason. If it wasn't for stuff like that, more than likely, Young Kid would have a majority in both chambers right now. But either way, we just got to see what happens. I'm still not convinced 100% that Trump is going to somehow carry Virginia. But if he's doing this good here, Biden has a big problem in the actual swing states like Arizona, Georgia, Wisconsin, etc. Anyways, folks, thank you so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy this video, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, hit that little bell, follow the social media accounts in the description down below, and of course, join the channel today. Godspeed to all of you.